Hello, good day viewers. In today's tutorial we are going to see the discrete probability distribution, which is under random variables. So I have some question here for you. The first question says find the probability distribution of the random variable in bracket the number of tails when two coins are tossed. So this is a very simple question. So it says that we are to find the probability distribution of a random variables if when two coins are tossed but number of tail. What it means is that it says when two coins are tossed, so therefore we have head and tail. So therefore also we have head and tail, we have head and tail. So this should now be the possible outcome should now be head and head, and we have head and tail, and we have tail and head, and we have tail and tail. So the solution to solution to the first question. So we have the sample space should now be head and head, and we have head and tail, and also we have tail and head, and therefore we have tail and and tail. So what are the favorable outcomes of having number of tail? Favorable outcomes. To find the probability of any event, it is favorable outcomes over the total outcome. So this is our total outcome. So now what are the favorable outcomes? So as you can see, the favorable outcomes, it says number of tail. We don't have tail here, so therefore we have to say the probability of having a tail here is 0. So probability of having a tail here, which is 1. This is 1, this is also 1. But the probability of having tail here is what? Is 2. The next thing that I'm going to do, I have to say the probability of x, it is equals to 0. This is the same thing as what? 1 over 1 over 4. Because I can't put 0. So therefore I have to say the next thing, the probability of x, which is equals to 1, it is what? I have to say I have 1 here, I have 1 tail, and also I have 1 tail here. So therefore which are 2 what? I have 1 tail, which are 2. So therefore I have to say 2 divided by what? Divided by the value of 4. So this should now be equals to what? 1 over 2. So the next thing is that I have to take a look to this. The probability of what x, it is equals to 2. What is the probability of getting this? So this is also, but I don't have to put 2 because this is what? I just only have 2 tail, and therefore is the same thing as what? 1. Because I have 1 tail here, 1 tail here. So therefore the favorable of having what? At least one tail in here are what? Are 2. So therefore I have to say 1 plus 1. It will give me 2. Therefore I put 2 over 4. So for here I have to say is the same thing as 1 over what? 1 over 4. So what will be the probability distribution in what? In the table. So as you can see, I have to say I have x here, and therefore I have the probability of what? X, the same thing as x. So therefore I have 0, I have 1, I have what? I have 2. And also for 0, I have 1 over 4. And also for x is equals to 1, I have what? 1 over 2. And also for what? For x it is equals to 2, I have what? I have 1 over 4. So this is the solution to this question. So the next question says that a random variable x has the following probability distribution. It says the first question, we are to find the value of k. So we all know that probability of what? P of x, it is equals to x, is the same thing as what? Summation of this, which is equals to 1. So we are going to sum all these values. The probability of x, capital X, which is equals to the small x. So we are going to say the summation of it is equals to 1. So this should now be equals to, I have to say 0.1 plus k plus 0.2 plus what? Plus 3k plus what? Plus 2k plus 0.3, which is equals to what? Which is equals to 1. So the next thing that I'm going to do is that I have to collect the like terms. I have k which is 4k, I have k which is 6k. So this should now be equals to what? I'll have 0.1 plus 0.2 plus 0.3 plus 6k, which is equals to 1. So I'll have 0.5 and 0.6. 0.6 plus 6k, which is equals to 1, and therefore I have to say this 6k shall now remain as it is. It will be equals to 1 minus what? When 0.6 cross the equal sign, it will now be negative, so minus 0.6. so therefore 6k, it is equals to 1 minus 0.6. I'll get 0.4. If I divide both sides by 6, 6 will cancel 6. So the value of k, this should now be equals to what? So if I said 0.4 divided by the value of what? 6. So which is what? 0.06. It is 0.066. So it is the same thing as saying 0.07. So this is the value of what? K. So we are done with what? With the first question. But don't forget, this is what? This is the formula that we use to find what? To find this value of k. So the next thing that we are going to do, we have to obtain the probability of x, which is what? Which is less than 2. So let me say I have the second question. From the second question, the second part, it says obtain the probability of x, which is what? Which is less than 2. So what is the probability of x? It is less than 2. X, it is less than 2. We are talking about a number which is less than 2. So less than 2, I have to start with -2, -1, 0, 1, because less than 2, I cannot put what? The value of 2. So I have to say the probability of x, which is less than 2. I'll have what? The probability of x, it is equals to -2, and therefore plus what? Plus the probability of what? Probability of x, which is equals to -1, plus the probability of what? X, which is equals to 0, and therefore plus what? Plus the probability plus the probability of x, which is equals to 1. So after finding the probability of x, which is less than or equals to 2, the next thing that you are going to do is that you have to take a look to this. Probability of x, which is equals to -2, probability of x, which is equals to this. Just come back here. -2, it is 0.1. So 0.1 plus what? Plus the probability of this, which is k. What is the value of k? We already find the value of k as what? 0.07 plus what? The probability of x, which is equals to 0, which is what? 0.2. The probability of what? 1, which is what? 3k. So plus 3 multiplied by 0.07. So this should now be equal to, as you can see, 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. We already find the probability of each and every what? Each and every part of x, which is equal to -2, x is equal to minus what? 1, x equals to minus, x it is equal to 0, and x is equal to 1. So the total probability, the final solution, this plus this plus this, and therefore 3 multiplied by this should now be equal to 0.58. So this is a solution of what? Of A, whereby we obtain the probability of x, which is what? Which is less than what? Less than 2. The next thing that we are going to take a look, we have to take a look to the B. Find the probability of x which is greater than or equals to 2. So, the probability of what? X, it is what? Greater than or equals to 2. It says greater than or equals to 2. So therefore, we have to include the 2 because it says or equals to 2. But from 2 to what? 2 to 3. So therefore, this should now be equals to what? The probability of x which is equals to 2 plus what? Plus the probability of x which is equals to 3. So this should now be what? I have the probability of x which is equals to 2. I have 2k. 2 multiplied by the k, which is what? 0.07, and therefore plus what? Plus the probability of x which is equals to 3, which is 0.3. So at the end you get 0. What? 2 multiplied by this plus 0.3. Yes, 0. What? 0.44. So I have to get this question. The next question is that the probability of -2, it is less than x less than 2. So you have to take a look to this. -2 less than -2. What number is less than -2? Which is -1. So therefore I'm going to start from -1. After then it says x which is less than 2. So I have to take a look to +2. This is +2, and it says less than what? +2. Less than +2, which is 1. So I have to start from 1, 0, and 1. That's all. Probability of -2 less than x less -2 less than x less than what? Less than 2. So I have to say the C, the last but not the least, which is the probability of what? The probability of -2 less than x less than 2 should now be what? Should now be equals to the probability of what? X, it is equals to -1 plus the probability of x, it is equals to 0 plus what? Plus the probability of x, it is equals to +1. This should now be equals to what? So -1, which is k plus what? So the value of k, which is 0.07, and therefore the value of 0, which is plus what? 0.2, and the value of 1, which is 3k. I have to say plus 3 multiplied by 0.07. So this should now be, if I say this for 0.03, I'll have what? Plus 3 multiplied by 6. 3 multiplied by 0. All if you calculate, it will give you what? 0.48. So this is the end of this class. We see the discrete probability distribution. So this is all I have for you for today. Don't forget to subscribe to this YouTube channel for more exciting videos. Please do share to your learning colleagues so that they will learn more about what the discrete probability distribution work examples. Don't forget to subscribe. Thank you for watching.